Hello everyone, Uncle speaking, and welcome to the new video, in which I will be talking about intercoms. For years, the best intercom you could have was this one, Cardo Packtalk. Perfect quality, really good reliability. I've got this one since 2016 and it worked every single time with no issues whatsoever. The unquestionable king of the intercoms. However, 2 years ago I decided to swap that for something newer and I bought myself the newer Cardo Packtalk Neo. So here comes that one. It's supposedly faster, longer range, faster connectivity, faster pairing. Simply everything should be better in the new one. But is it really? Since I've got it, it worked like a charm. Except last year on my long trip, on my 50th birthday, if you haven't watched it, it's the link there. But anyway, this one, on the last long trip, 50 days on motorcycle, on second day it started doing tricks and eventually battery died on that one. But I did my research and it seems like there is plenty of people who are complaining about battery issues with the new Cardos. So is it still as reliable as it once was? Also, some people are saying there are issues with buttons here. They are simply breaking apart and require replacement. However, I had no issues whatsoever with Cardo, they just replaced my unit. Unfortunately, I had to go back home first, so that's a pity. Therefore, I started to be a bit annoyed when one Chinese company contacted me with a proposal of testing the new Chinese intercom system. I said, okay, let's try it, what you've got on offer. And actually, I've got brand new intercom from them with mesh technology and everything. Maybe it was time when they catched up with Cardo. So let's test it and let's look around. But what I've got for you today is something which is not even yet publicly available in Europe. There was a public premiere in Asia, but it's not available in Europe. So I've got my hands on the brand new intercom Reso Pilot Pro, which is available in China and Asia, but not here yet. And I will be checking it up front of everyone else. And the first impressions are really good. The box is pretty solid. But who cares? We are not talking about the boxes here. Let's look inside. Intercom itself looks sleek and good quality. And we also got smaller boxes with speakers and other stuff. Great. So what exactly we've got here? 40mm speakers, branded by Reso. We also have really short manual. In this bigger box you can find some alcohol wipes, also intercom base, some attachments, microphone, and that will be it. Now let's talk about the intercom itself. It's really sleek and it speaks quality. It really does. It's pretty heavy and it feels good in my hand. Also, there is hidden USB-C port to charge it. And the size of the intercom is pretty comparable to any of the Pactalks. Now we've got Pactalk Neo versus Pactalk Bold. And now let's compare it to the Reso. And again, it is about the same. However, the quality of the Reso seems to be superior at the first glance. It feels heavier and it feels more solid. Feels more metal, not plasticky. Also the buttons looks like it will be more reliable. Now let's compare how it will look like on the side of the helmet. And as you might notice, it's not as bulky as Pactalk Neo. It feels sleeker and kinda smaller from the side. See? Now let's take a look at the base attachment. It uses 3M original tape. Pretty good. But now let's check the weight of those intercoms. 67 grams for the Reso. Now the original Cardo Packtalk, 58 grams, slightly lighter but not by much. And now Pactalk Neo. and that is much lighter, 47 grams. So now guys, we've got this Reso Pilot Pro, and that one seems to have the best build quality, as I said, and I'm absolutely serious about that. Now, let's talk about warranty. Pactalk Neo, it's got 2 years warranty. Pactalk Edge and Pactalk Pro, they've got 3 years warranty. Reso, 3 years warranty. Same as Edge and same as Pactalk Pro. So Neo lost that battle. We will see what will happen later. Now guys, let's talk about the attachment to your helmet, how it works. In case of Neo and original Pactalk, it was a click system, plastic system with the clips. So basically you do this until you hear that click noise. Here, yep, plastic base and plastic attachment. It works. I have no issues with that. It works really well. However, you need to attach the USB-C cable wire into the Pactalk. In case of Pactalk Edge and Pactalk Pro, it works better because they've got magnetic system. However, let's look at that. See? Magnetic. So, same as Pactalk Edge and same as Pactalk Pro. Another feature of that intercom is SOS system. This one has got collision detection. Same as the top-notch Pactalk Pro. How it works, I didn't check yet. Anyways, it's got it, so big plus for that little thing. Another feature of that intercom, also that one, is that you can record your conversations. With Pactalk Bolt and all the Pactalk you couldn't do it. With those new generation intercoms, you can just record your conversations, which is pretty useful. Except I tried it with my Pactalk Neo and my mobile app was crashing constantly.
Okay, so my friends, on the new firmware I've got this.
As you can see, connection lost, and I don't have a clue why is it happening. As you can see on the top of my screen, the Bluetooth is still connected. However, Cardo app is not connected and cannot find the unit. And after restart, eventually it will find it again. But let's give it another go.
Start recording. So we've got another recording, and
after a different time this time, is disconnected again. Completely unreliable in my case. I know it's working for some other people, but for me it doesn't. However, now let's test the Reso Pilot Pro. And it's working differently. You basically need to pair your device with a camera. And that's what I will be doing right now.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can hear the sound here in that helmet. And now let me talk to that microphone from that helmet, and I can hear it in those speakers.
And as you could see, it just worked, as it should. I will test it through and through later on, but now let's do something else. So now, let's talk about the other functions. I took this card, let me check, because I'm that old that I don't remember anything what I'm going to say. So let's read that card. La 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 la. Waterproofness. IP67, IP I think 67, and IP67. Another thing is, yeah, the speakers. Original Pactalk was coming with 40mm Cardo brand speakers, which were okay-ish, but not the best one. The Neo came with 40mm JBL speakers, which are, I think, good. But there is also JBL 45mm, which you can buy additionally, and they are superb quality. This intercom comes with Reso 40mm speakers, which is unknown quality, but I think it will be alrightish. However, it's got 3.5mm TRRS connection, so it means basically you can connect whatever you want to that Reso Pilot. You can connect JBL speakers to Reso, except JBL from Cardo is TRS connector, and this one is TRS, so you would need some sort of adapter. However, it's doable. So, big plus for both companies that you can attach whatever speakers you would like to. But now, earplugs on, and let's test it. Let's test actually how loud the speakers are. That meant it can't be any louder anymore. Yep, that worked well, except it's not really good for listening to the music. Could be better. Now, time for the Reso. Now one after another. And well, it proved absolutely nothing, but I would say JBL has slightly better quality, but Reso speakers I could hear louder. Another thing, the mesh. This one has got mesh 1.0, this has got better, superb quality, mesh 2.0, superb whatever, whatnot. It should be better, faster, longer range, or whatever. In reality, for me, I don't feel any difference between those two. So let's say mesh, whatever. You name it, but it works exactly the same. This one, I don't expect it to be any different in reality. However, there is something which is called, I don't know, hard mesh, soft mesh. But what you need to do, you set up your phone into Wi-Fi tethering and you connect that to your Wi-Fi, and that intercom can connect to your 5G, GSM, whatever, to your phone basically through Wi-Fi. So the range is unlimited and you can connect to whomever you want. But in real life, I think that it's easier to call someone with your Google, right? Or Siri. Just talk to your intercom and say, call my friend or my wife or my boyfriend. However, I will try to check it later. Now let's look at that table, because it's a good comparison of all the important functions of those intercoms we are talking about today. And also there is a price comparison between Pactalk Neo, Edge and Pro. However, when it comes to Reso Pilot Pro, it was only premiered in Asia, and we are still waiting for official European version, so I could only check the Asian prices, and Asian prices are somewhere around Pactalk Neo. However, that's not set in stones. But now let's go back to the table and let's test those intercoms properly. This mesh is compatible with that one, so they can connect easily one another. No problem whatsoever. But that one won't be compatible with Cardo, won't be compatible with Senna won't be compatible with that one. Bluetooth, yes of course, but mesh, no. But really? Well, you can connect mesh to mesh. It's doable, but not quite easy. I found how to do it online. So now I've got two Reso intercoms paired with each other, and again two Cardos paired with each other. And now I will open the info and I will try to pair it all. I'm doing it for the first time and we will see if that's an easy process, right? Okay, so now let's read it. On Reso, press and hold B and C. Okay.
Enter Bluetooth intercom operation. Right array pairing.
Now it's time to connect Cardo mesh into the Reso mesh.
Bluetooth intercom on.
And it looks like you need to do it through the Bluetooth bridge. The process is sort of complicated,
Pairing initiated.
but not terribly complicated.
Right array pairing.
Basically pressing two buttons on one intercom, then pressing it again, then pressing another button, then doing the same on another intercom, and off you go!
Rider A hearing success. Rider A connected.
And you know what? It looks like we are successful. Let's check it.
One, 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 one. So, my friends, it all works. Basically, I can hear one another, so the group is fully connected. That's a surprise. Let's check this one to be 100% sure. One. It's all working. That's a surprise. So one last step will be to actually turn it all off, and we will see if it will connect again, okay? Right. Goodbye.
And now let's turn on all of the devices again. And we will see, obviously, if it will connect automatically.
Connected to online. Battery high.
And it looks like it's on, but it didn't connect automatically.
One, 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 one. So that's an issue because we need to do it probably before each ride. One. This is not connected now. Let me check something. So probably it needs to be connected again each time. We want that mesh to be connected. So relatively easy process, however, a bit of pain in the ass. Let's try it again. Lovely. One. Yeah. Again, success. One. Okay, my friends. So that will be it. Operation success. No issues. You can connect a group of Resos to a group of Cardos. Doable, achievable, full success.
Yeah, doable, achievable, however not as straightforward as connecting one brand together. Now, let's jump into application and let me show what is not quite a success. Generally speaking, the app is really good. Everything's there, everything works as it should. I updated the firmware, it went all well, so I've got the newest firmware and it all looks good, right? Except this. Yep, that went terribly wrong. So I tried to make it properly. So, is it better? Okay, let's upload it. And see, a tiny bit of the application is not properly translated. That's what I meant. Obviously, not my ugly face. That's pretty obvious. But let's worry not, because the company promised me already to fix that issue.
So another thing is that Reso has got AI noise reduction. Will it be any better than this one? We will try to check it. That is my test setup for noise reduction. I've got that, and I'm blowing the wind into the microphone. So I will wear those helmets and I will check which of those intercoms is doing a better job. Let's check if that will work. Recording started, it says.
Yep, and now I tried to record the sound with Cardo Packtalk application. And you already know that the application was crashing, so it wasn't quite successful. Except, actually, it was enough to check if there is any wind noise.
The wind is blowing directly to my face. How is the noise reduction working? So, my friends, on the new firmware, I've got this.
Now you could hear the noise reduction from Pactalk Neo, and as you could hear, it was pretty good. Except the app crashed, of course. But hey ho, let's do it again.
Start recording. So we've got another recording, and you
Hearing here. Lost connection.
So yeah, before it crashed, it was pretty noiseless. And that's also my own personal experience. Pactalk devices, Cardo devices in general, have really good noise reduction. Now it was time how to record voice with Reso devices.
So I took my 360 camera, I paired that intercom. Now I'm just talking so that Insta360 normally would hear me, but I'm guessing there is nothing.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can hear the sound here in that helmet. And now let me talk to that microphone from that helmet, and I can hear it in those speakers. Is Insta360 registering anything? Let's check it out.
That's something, isn't it? So basically, that camera is now connected to those two microphones, and it can register the conversation. I think that's pretty special. Let's do it again. Let's do a few checks on that.
Now it will be recording the Reso microphone number 1. Now we've got Reso microphone number 2. Should we bring the wind back?
I guess we should. Now guys, what I figured out, I'm recording with my Insta360. I placed the fan back again on full power.
And now let's check again how the recording with Insta360 is working. Is it good for now? The wind is blowing in my face, but I will go closer. Let's check it out. I'm just directly next to the fan. My microphone. Is the sound any good? Can you hear any wind noise? I don't know. But I guess the sound should be really crappy. If it's not, then it's a brilliant solution. First try. Maybe the sound will be too loud, maybe low.
I don't know. So how was wind reduction from that Reso in comparison to Rode microphone with pretty good wind buff? Also, very important thing, battery life. So, doesn't matter what is on paper, because paper can take anything, you know. The companies can write whatever they want on paper. But anyway, on paper, original Pactalk has got the worst battery, Pactalk Neo and Edge, they've got better batteries, and this one, the Reso, has got superb quality battery. But that's on paper, so we'll try to test it out. However, I'm really limited to testing it in the studio, so I won't be able to tell you exactly, and especially I won't be able to tell you what will happen after a year or 2 years of using that, but I can tell you what the manufacturer is claiming. So they claim that one can work for 13 hours of both mesh and listening to the music. That one will be dead after 8 hours. That one on paper is better. As I said, I cannot be sure about it until I will ride with that for 2 years or so. So take it with a pinch of salt, right? But remember guys, I received 2 of those, so it means that I'm sponsored. But in reality, if that would be shit, I wouldn't do the test. I would just send it back and say, just take it from me. So if you can see the test on the channel, it means that it's a good product.
And yeah, the review is on the channel. And it means it really is a good product. I was really surprised. This is a quality product, but it's of course up to you if you will choose one. But I'm telling you, I would send it back if it wouldn't be any good.
One important thing. When you are charging the intercoms, there is a red LED, and then when it's charged, it's turned completely dark. Both Packtalks work that way, but with Reso, there is red, then there is orange, and there is green when it's charged.
And obviously, you cannot see it now because they are both charging.
So now the summary. That's a superb product, but the real issue is that if your group has got Cardo, you need another Cardo. Of course you can connect one Bluetooth intercom to another, but mesh?
Well, mesh you can connect as well, except it will be slightly more difficult.
So now, after knowing all that about those mesh connections, what would I choose? Reso, it speaks quality, how it's made. It feels really solid, feels really well made. Obviously, I didn't ride using those intercoms for a year or two, so can't say long term if there will be any issues or problems. Can't tell you that. However, just touching it, looking how it works, how it's done, Reso is a better overall intercom. Or at least comparable to Packtalk Pro. My opinion is Reso is great value for money. And I'm really surprised because I was a fan of Cardo Packtalks all the time. And now I'm not convinced if I won't switch to Reso for the next season. And on that note, I will finish my review. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. And for now, that will be it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.